we're back. We're gonna do a part 2. But we have something to show you guys. Oh my god. It's conchas with some ice cream. That's gonna be our dessert. Can you give me the spoon, sister?
I was just gonna eat it with my hands like a
oh, you're uncivilized.
like a caveman. But this shit's hard. So when we first got it, it was warm, but we had to put it in the freezer so that we could eat the tacos first. And now this shit is hard as rocks.
No, it was like this too. It's because they
it was soft because he microwaved it to make it warm. He put it in the oven.
You can put it in the oven.
Well, with the ice cream.
Take the ice cream out.
Oh.
What? It's cold?
It's cold.
Is ice cream supposed to be cold?
Of course it's cold.
Well, make it warm. You can put it in the oven. I feel like that would just make it hard.
Once it melts in your mouth, it tastes pretty good.
I don't think they should microwave them. Because I feel like it was like that because I touched them.
They're good.
I think it tastes good though.
Yeah. Oh, which one do you want to start off with?
So we're gonna start talking about. Okay, so where I used to live, like me and my sister swear it was fucking haunted as fuck.
It was so haunted.
The bitch. That our apartment is so scary.
It wasn't even that, because we lived in a house before that, and it was a 2-story house, and like,
and it just we like literally had that house built.
Yeah.
So I think like something followed us from there.
Yeah, because there was some weird shit going on. Ooh,
yeah, and we just had a lot of bad like energy there. Like it was just bad energy, right?
Yeah, it was just okay. So one time, I think I was probably like 11 or 12. I don't know.
Yeah, you were like 11 or 12 when you lived there.
Yeah. Well, no, because we moved out there when I turned 10.
Really?
Yeah.
9.
No, 9. 9.
Yeah, you were 9 because I had just started kindergarten out there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that might have been younger then. I could have been like 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old.
You were 4 years older than me, so you were 9.
Well, yeah, I know.
So I was 5.
I know. I'm talking about the time in which the story takes place. Okay, so I was about 9 or 10, and at the time we had a playroom, and our playroom had all our toys in it.
Wait, and let me just stop right there. So let me just tell you guys, I was little as fuck, right? It was my room, and inside my room there was a little door you open, and it was a playroom.
I think I could draw it for you, actually.
No, it's okay. You don't do that.
But I have great drawing skills. And
if I can find like a picture that looks kind of like similar, I'll put it in. But Brandon could attest to this. I would never sleep in my room.
Never.
I hated sleeping in my room. I would not sleep in my room. If somebody told me to sleep in my room, I would never. I would cry. I would cry when they would lock. Like one time, my sister and my cousin were babysitting me, and they locked me in my room, and they held me in there. I was literally crying because I hated my room. I literally hated it. Like I did not like being in there.
Her room faced like the front. Like you looked out the window, and there was the driveway. But there was a little room inside, and it was kind of like an attic type of like the style of it, because it kind of went down like that, so when you walked forward you'd hit your head if you were too tall. And so it was there, and that's where my dad had us put all our toys at. So one night,
the room, the playroom.
Okay.
I know.
Anyway, so we were playing like, you know, those dumb little kid games. We were playing like restaurant, and so I needed like toys to look as like fake food that I can give my siblings because we're all playing together. And it's a 2-story house. So downstairs we have a balcony in our hallway upstairs, and you can look downstairs, and that's where the main living room was, where we played. And so I had gone upstairs. I looked down. My siblings are down there. You can hear them clearly from the hallway and clearly from the room. So I go into Emily's room and I open the door and I turn on the light. I never liked going all the way in there. If I went in there, I ran and then I got my stuff and I ran back out. Like, if I was gonna stand there and look at the toys, I was gonna stand at the door. There was no way I was gonna go in there by myself. So so I'm standing there and I'm just like, like, you know, yeah, and I'm just looking at all the things. I'm like, okay, what should I get? And then right here, oh my god, till this day I remember the noise, how it felt, the way I felt the moment that it happened. And right here I hear this like loud like and it was just like I froze up and I put my shoulders up and I tried to pretend like I didn't see it, like hear what I just heard. So I was like, I guess I'll get that toy. I ran in and I ran out, and like I ran like, and I looked over like on the balcony to see if maybe one of my siblings were playing games with me, but I was the tallest one. None of them are even close to my height. Well, my brother is now, but like, so I ran downstairs and I was just so creeped out, and that was the first experience that I had in that house with like yeah, it was just so creepy, and I never went in there again. I remember living in that house. I would wake up, for a while it happened, I'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and I'd be when I woke up I was facing the stairs. And I remember like, so the stairs were like right here, then that way there was the kitchen, and I could see the time that was on the oven, and it was happening consistently. And I would hear like noises, people walking upstairs, and at that time like our AC only worked really well in the guest room, so we all like piled in there because it was hot as hell upstairs. So
yeah, if you ever lived in a two-story house, you know that the upstairs fucking hot as fuck all the time. Yeah, so especially since we lived in like the desert, so yeah. It was a high desert. So
we stayed there like the whole summer. We all just chilled in that room for like to go to sleep. And one night my mom, I woke up at the stairs. My mom comes down and she's like, what are you doing? And I looked at her and I didn't know how, like, I don't know, I guess I was sleepwalking, but I looked at the time, 3 a.m. and like I would look up the stairs and I'd hear creaking, but we were all downstairs. So I would just I would like,
yeah, the stairs are just the creepiest.
Yeah. So I just like, I was just like, oh, I don't know, and I just went back to sleep. And like at the time I tried not to make a big deal of it, but I was scared to death in the house.
Literally. Yeah, I remember I would sleepwalk all the time. All the time I would sleepwalk, and like I'd wake up and be like, how the fuck did I get here? Like like I don't know, like that's just like, it was weird. And I remember one time too, I was sleepwalking and I was walking, I guess like I was walking down the stairs, and I remember like I went to the refrigerator, and I guess because where I found myself, this is what like I assumed happened, that I like got a glass and like was pouring water in it, because like the reason why I woke up was because my dad was like, Emily, what are you doing? And he like woke me up, and like I remember I like just like waking up and I had like a glass and like I was pouring water in it. And I looked, and like my dad had like a bat in his hands. He had a bat in his hands, and he was scared because I guess he thought he heard something. And so he had like a bat and everything, and I was just like, I don't know. I was like literally I had just woken up like that. Yeah. Like I was pouring myself a glass of water, and like I was like, that's so weird. And like I had so many times where I would just wake up and I wouldn't know how like I got to certain places. Like I would never, like I'm telling you, like I would never stay in my room. If they try to keep me in my room, like I'd wake up somewhere else, like all the time.
I think in that house we all mostly like, we would sneak over to my brother's room because he had bunk beds.
Yeah, we were all so like,
we would always sleep together, like no matter what.
Yeah, like it was like my sister, she had her own room, I had my own room, and then my brother had his own room, and my little sister, she just slept with my parents.
Yeah, because she was like three or four.
Yeah, she was little, and like they had like a office room that they turned into her room and their master bedroom. So we that's where she would sleep sometimes. But me me and Brianna, we would. I remember when my dad would make us go to our rooms.
Yeah.
We would all crawl to like our doorways, like our door frames, and we'll like start crawling to my brother's room because he had bunk beds. So we would all sleep in there because we were scared. We were always so scared to sleep in our rooms. Like it was just creepy. And I remember one time, dude. Okay, one time when I was in the house, and in our house, like you know, in houses when there's sometimes like certain areas, if you step on it, you know it creaks. Like you know, and it has to be like a lot of pressure on like that area. And I remember one time I heard like creaking from the stairs, and there was like this one part on the stairs because I thought I heard someone come upstairs, and then like I heard a part creak, and then I heard it like get closer to my brother's room, and we were all sleeping in there. And I remember like crawling like to the doorway and like peeking outside because I thought my dad was gonna catch us. Like I thought my dad was gonna catch us all in my brother's room. Yeah, so I was like, oh shit, like I'm not about to get in trouble. I was about to dip, but then I look out and then it, like I didn't see anyone. Like there was nobody there. And so you know what I did? I crawled to my parents' room because I thought something was gonna happen. Like I thought like my dad was playing because my dad was always playing games on us.
Yeah, my dad would play so many games with us.
And so I thought maybe like my dad had just went to bed and stuff or something like that. Anyways, I just go to my parents' room because I think my dad's playing games. and then when I went, they were sleeping. And I was just like, So I crawled so fast back to the room, and I was just like, I'm just pretending like I didn't hear anything. And I was just like, I went to sleep. That's it.
And then whenever we moved into the apartment, oh my god, anyways, we moved into the apartment. I was the only one that would sleep with my door closed, and that's mainly because at the time I would talk to my boyfriend on the phone, and
I cannot sleep with the door closed,
and I didn't want to get caught.
I need to see what's coming, okay?
I can't sleep with the door
I need to see what's coming
because if I see some shit,
okay, you guys need to tell us, what do you guys do? Do you sleep with the door open or closed? And tell me why.
All I'm saying is if you sleep with the door open, I'm gonna be mad if that door shuts closed, and like, what are you gonna do after that?
Bitch, the door's closed. Okay, what are you gonna do if you don't see something coming for you and then that shit opens? Like,
well, I mean, that's a lot enough to know. Like, it gives you time. You hear the creaking sound, then you hear the door, like, you know, because I have my door locked with that shit. So you're gonna hear them try to like jingle it or whatever, so it gives you time to be like, where's my knife?
I don't know.
Or my bat. Anyways, so,
I mean, like, I get what you mean, but I just like, I don't know, like, what if you see some shit in there and like you have to run out? Because I had to do that for my room.
That was you, not me. Anyways,
go with your story.
So I would close the door at night, and
you have to tell the juju story.
Oh, fuck that story.
That story's scary.
Anyways, you get so off topic. Anyways, so the reason why I started after, like, even if I wasn't talking on the phone, I just kept the door closed, was because I remember when I was talking and I heard like a little child laughing.
Bitch.
And like,
that's enough.
And at the time we were all grown, like we're all pretty close in age, so I was like, I think 15, yeah. You were probably like 11.
Yeah.
And like, and it wasn't like, this sounded like a good like little 5-year-old laughing, running up and down the like the hallway. And we had a cat at the time, but my cat was in my room, so I was like, what the hell is that? And it would happen at the same time every night, so I just started sleeping with my door closed, because you got me all kinds of fucked up if a little child peeks into my door room and I'm there like but okay, so for a little while my mom's sister, our aunt, she was living with us, and she has 2 kids, which is our cousins.
They're babies.
Yeah. And so it was JJ and Audrina, and JJ was probably like 2 years old or 3. Yeah, he's probably 2 or 3 years old. And the thing with our cousin is when he was that young, he couldn't speak right, and it was because he had water in his ears, right?
He had like a...
So like he couldn't hear properly because it sounded like everything was underwater. So that's why when he talked, it sounded like he was talking like he was underwater. Like,
yeah, like...
So he couldn't pronounce certain words right. And so a lot of the time it just sounded like mumbled.
He had to get like surgery in his ears, like, and they put tubes in his ears, and he could finally like hear better.
So now he can enunciate, he can say words properly, and all that stuff. So at the time he couldn't talk like that well at all.
He couldn't talk, like we didn't know what he would be saying half the time.
Yeah, and we just be like, yeah, of course. But
he would have to point at his stuff.
Yeah, because he really, it was an issue.
Yeah.
So one time it was this week that things were weird that were happening with me, and then also my little cousin JJ. And his dad had told me that JJ had woken up in the middle of the night asking him if he could sleep with him. And when he asked JJ why, JJ responded with, "There's a lady in my bed."
Wow.
And so his dad told me this and told me to keep an eye on him, make sure that no one's letting him watch any scary movies, because they don't know where, you know, he's getting these ideas from. And our family's very superstitious, so I was creeped out, and I know his mom, my aunt, was very creeped out about it too. So I was watching him, and he was in my room, and it was weird because I think I was visiting from college.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she might have been visiting from your freshman year.
Yeah, from my freshman year. I came back for the holidays, and JJ, like, he would run to me, like, he was my little baby. But so I was babysitting him, and no one was home that day. It was just me and him, and we go into my room, which is my brother's room at that time, but he still had my stuff in a certain way, so that it was basically mine still. And JJ, I was sitting against a corner, and JJ was in front of me, and he called me Nana because he couldn't pronounce Brianna. And so he looks at me, he goes, "Nana," and I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" because I was like on my phone. And he's like, "Who's that behind you?" And I don't know why I looked behind me, but it was just instinctual. So I looked behind me, and literally it's a wall. And I was like, I looked at him, and I was like, "It's just a wall there, JJ." Like, I was just trying to keep my cool because I was like so creeped out, and like I just felt weird right when he said that, and I was just like, okay, that's weird. So he kept saying, he's like, "No, there's somebody behind you." And I was like, "Little boy, if you don't shut up."
That was so creepy.
And so I was like, you know what, let's go outside into the living room. And I was like, and I like removed myself from that situation, because if things started happening, I was gonna be so scared. So later on that night, he and his sister wanted to sleep in my room with me because they had missed me. So JJ wants to sleep with me in my bed, and Audrina just wants to sleep on the floor. So I make her a little bed, and she sleeps there, and I'm talking on the phone, and JJ is against the wall, and I'm like right there, so we're kind of like facing each other, but I'm talking on the phone with my boyfriend. And so he starts looking at me, and he just looks so weird. And okay, so JJ Okay, so JJ wants to sleep with me in my bed, and Audrina just wants to sleep on the floor. So I make her a little bed, and she sleeps there, and I'm talking on the phone, and JJ is against the wall, and I'm like right there, so we're kind of like facing each other, but I'm talking on the phone with my boyfriend. And so he starts looking at me, and he just looks so weird, and I had hung up the phone, and he says, "Hi, Nana." And the way he did it was not his voice. And I looked at him, and I was so scared. And he just looked at me. His eyes just looked like really creepy. And he was just like, he goes, "Come closer, Nana, come closer." And I was like, "Boy, I'm not getting close to you at all." Like, and I go, "JJ, so why are you talking like that?" He's like, "Talking like what?" And I'm telling you,
so
he could not speak for the life of him. And all of a sudden, he was speaking clearly and enunciating all his words.
I would have slapped his ass.
And his voice went up a little bit, and it just sounded, it didn't sound natural. It didn't sound like a little kid. It didn't even sound like a person. And he was like, come closer, Nana, come closer. And he started saying it very loud. And I was like, you're not sleeping with me tonight. So I get up, I turn on the light, and JJ's like, what's wrong? And all of a sudden, his voice changes back. And it sounded like, what's wrong? Like that. like I was like, no. No.
That reminded me of the character of Snoopy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so I took it to my mom's room and I was like, JJ wants to sleep with you tonight. And I put him in there and I put Adrena on my bed and I was like, you better not start no shit with me because that's not okay. So yeah, that was one of the like creepiest things. The way it sounded was really weird. It started getting louder and louder and I was just like, is no one hearing this? So yeah,
I know, I didn't hear that.
That was so scary. And I told my mom the next day and she was like, ew, what? And my mom's the type of person like, you ignore it. And, but it was scary.
My mom, she actually had went to a medium or like a psychic, you know? And what's it called? This lady, she reads rocks. Like, it's weird, but like,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like, we believe in all that stuff. Like, I'm not, who am I to say something's not real? You know, like, or somebody like can do something that's, you know, that other people don't think so. But like, she just gets rocks and she like throws them off.
Yeah, and then
like she gets rocks and she throws them.
She prays, she gets the rocks, she throws them, and then she starts talking to my mom. And yeah, it's really, my mom, like, it's really intense. Even being in the room, like, I had no idea what they were saying because she was speaking in Spanish, and I was just like, I was honestly, I didn't even want to be there because I was like, why am I being dragged out? So it's just on my phone.
Yeah, and like,
but, like, the energy in there is different. Like, it's really weird. It's dark. It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah, and like the lady ends up telling my mom that because my mom has a hard time sleeping at night, and so she had told her like, there's two spirits in your house that like to play tricks on you, and they think it's funny. And so like, it's just creepy because like my mom said that one time she was in her room and she woke up to somebody knocking on her window.
Oh yeah, she heard 3 knocks.
She heard 3 knocks.
And we live on the 2nd floor.
The second, yeah, we live on the second story apartment. So like, nobody could have been knocking on anybody's window. So like, it was just weird. But yeah, like, let me get that back. What was I saying again?
About the man and woman.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a man and a woman spirit that does live in there. I like, the last few weeks that I have been at home, I actually like, nothing was happening anymore. And like, I don't know.
Remember?
I don't know if it's just like, because I don't think they were like dangerous or anything. I think in the beginning they were a little dangerous. Not dangerous, but just creepy. But like, after a while, like, everything just kind of stopped. Because I feel like,
no, when I go home, I cannot sleep. It's so hard for me to sleep. I end up staying up really late until like the sun comes out so I can finally sleep. But even then, being home alone, I remember I visited maybe like,
oh yeah, I don't like being home alone.
Or even being home. Ooh, okay, so last time we went home was May. Me and my brother went home, is before she moved up here. We went home for EDC.
Yeah.
And so me and Josh was gonna be in the guest room, and I guess mom had gone to work and you were at work and Haley was at school. And
oh shit, I remember.
And I remember I woke up every single day. I'd wake up around like 8 a.m. and oh no, it was later. I think it was like 10 a.m. or 11, I don't know. It was probably 10 because my mom goes to work at like 9. And I would hear what sounded like my mom talking, like a whole conversation. And I was just like, oh, I guess she's still here. That's weird. I thought she worked today or something, you know? So I'd be on my phone and then I hear it stop, so I go outside and nobody is home but me and my brother. My brother was sleeping right next to me. He was laying on the bed. So I was just like, oh, cool. And so it kept happening. It happened every single day that I was there. And I know whenever I was home alone, my brother went to go hang out with his friend, and it was just me there by myself because when I go back home I have no friends. But I was there by myself, and my mom for some reason has like a bell on the door or something like that.
And it's because, I don't know, yeah, she did have a bell on the door.
Yeah. And I remember going over there to the hallway, and like we have 4 rooms, so there's a room that's right like close to the door, and then the other 3 rooms are kind of, it's my mom's, and then
they're just kind of
like,
together.
Yeah, they're like right there at the end of the hallway. Like all the doors face each other. So I go over there, and the doors are closed. They're all closed. And my sister Haley, her door, you have to really, like, if you want to get that open, you have to really push it, and it makes a loud sound.
Yeah.
So like it's rarely ever closed when anybody's home, but I guess my sister decided to close it. So I go there, the doors are closed, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I come back, and I'm watching TV for a bit, and I hear the jingle of a bell in the hallway, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And so I decided for some reason to go down that hallway real quick, and I think I was going into the guest room to go get something from my bag, and I go over there, and Haley's door is open. And I was like, I stopped in my tracks, like at the end of the hallway, and I was like, what the fuck? And because I did not hear that door open at all. When that door opens, you hear it. It like makes it like nice, like a scraping sound when it opens.
Yeah, because the door is like too big for the frame.
Yeah.
So you had to like kind of push it really hard.
Yeah. So I was like I was just like dead fear, like in my heart. I was like, what? So I go back to the living room because I was like, nope, I'm not gonna go over there for the rest of the time being. Yeah. I wait till I think you got home, and went over there again. The door was closed.
I think I remember.
And I was freaking out. I was like, okay, I don't want to be home alone ever again.
It's so creepy being home alone.
Like, especially, like, you hear like a whole ass conversation.
Yeah, you do. Because like, well, I don't know. I don't think we should tell any more stories. I feel like we told them enough.
Yeah, we can do like another one with just stories.
Yeah. So
Halloween.
Yes. For Halloween edition. So if you guys want to see some more of our creepy ass stories from our haunted ass apartment, then go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know that you want to see more, and like, and don't forget to
subscribe.
Thank you. So thanks for watching.